Hello everyone, Jake Gamera here, and I'm back with another Beetlejuice video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing the 7 deadly sins as Beetlejuice characters. For those of you who don't know what the 7 deadly sins are, let me do a quick recap. The 7 deadly sins in Christianity are said to be 7 types of emotions that bring out the worst in people. These sins are wrath, gluttony, greed, envy, sloth, lust, and pride. Based off another YouTuber, who I will have a link to his channel in the description below. He also did lots of videos about the 7 deadly sins as various characters, so I figured I might as well do one with Beetlejuice characters. All footage and or content in this video is made purely for entertainment purposes only. Also keep in mind this is for non-kids, so this is for teenagers and adults alike. So just a heads up, but no copyright is being made. So without further ado, let's get started with our first sin. Starting off, we have the sin of sloth. Sloth is basically where you just would rather stay at home watching your shows, eating chips, than go outside and do something. My YouTube gamers will know what I'm talking about. No offense. And Charles embodies sloth. Well, not embodies, but he's a good candidate for it. No, it's not his bird watching, because bird watching is, well, it's a nice hobby. I might even do that sometime. It's his role as a father. I'm saying he's a bad dad. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he doesn't love Lydia. He does care for her. He really does. But, well, rather than actually trying to be a good dad, he's just like, yeah, go play. Go have fun. I'm watching my birds. Even after he's thrown down the stairs by a demonic snake, his first thought is to maybe move to get Lydia away from this place, but he decides, yeah, I'll just stay here and we'll work around it, or something like that. His daughter's obviously depressed and he's doing nothing. However, I will cut him some slack, just a little bit of slack for having to deal with Delia's craziness. We all need to relax, and I will admit his new wife needs some therapy. But his role as a father is just kind of lazy. And in the sequel, he doesn't really do that much. He's kind of what kicks off the plot. His plane crashes while he's going to bird watching, which I don't see why he even has to go bird watching. He could just watch the birds in his backyard. That's what I do. And we don't see much of his face because he later becomes shark food. But yeah, you can let me know who you think is a good representation of sloth in the comments below. Real quick, I wanted to say, if you hear me repeating myself multiple times or I talk very fast, this video is not really scripted, and I get pretty excited when I'm recording, and I just say the first thing that comes to my mind. So, yeah, apologies if I'm super repeating myself and very talking fast. I just get excited when making videos. Envy is an insane jealousy for someone who's more successful than you, and you want that success for yourself. And Scuzzle the Clown pretty much resembles this perfectly. For those of you who have been watching my videos since the beginning, you've probably seen one of my first ever popular videos, Scuzzle's Friends on the Other Side reprise. But in case you haven't, I'll do a quick recap. Scuzzle the Clown is Beetlejuice's arch nemesis in the cartoon series. In terms of pranks, he and Beetlejuice, almost every episode he's in, he always tries to outdo Beetlejuice in pranks or anything. Whenever Beetlejuice is successful, Scuzzle's going to be there to try to put a dent in it. Why I gave Scuzzle the sin of envy is due to his rivalry with Beetlejuice and how he'll go out of his way to win. Like Beetlejuice, he has some of the same abilities, using similar ghostly pun-based powers, mostly centered around circus, paranorma, mainly cannons and explosives, but he's not as powerful as Beetlejuice, and he's mostly limited to materializing objects or manipulating his own appearance. So he has to rely on more devious tricks and careful planning in order to outwit Beetlejuice, like weapons and stuff like that. Due to this, it's obvious he's very envious of Beetlejuice's powers, and this rivalry goes up to the point where Scuzzle will, for starters, frame Beetlejuice for armed robbery, assist in kidnapping, where he helped kidnap Lydia, and he seemed to have no problem whatsoever, and even trying to quote-unquote kill Beetlejuice in the episode The Evil World's Least Wanted, where he teams up with a bunch of other villains to destroy Beetlejuice. And the way they can destroy him is if they make him say, "You're coming apart," and if he's not put back together by sunset, he'll disappear forever. I'm not really clear, but I'm pretty sure that means he'll die. Again. There have been, at least as far as I know, 2 instances where he and Beetlejuice briefly, and emphasis on briefly, teaming up. Again, these are very, very, very short-lived, no pun intended. Wrath is a case with uncontrollable anger and extreme emotions. Like when you're playing a video game and it crashes and you just can't get enough, so you start throwing haymakers at everything. Many characters represent wrath, but none more so than Bully the Crud. Bully the Crud is the main antagonist of the Beetlejuice episode Pest O West. He's a Billy the Kid ripoff, but instead of being a kid or a Billy, he's a bull, and he's a bully. The second we're introduced to him, he screams his head off, like he's just roaring and screaming and everything. Heck, if there was a video for every time Bully screams, the video would be like an hour long, because he just every time he's on screen, he's just screaming and roaring at the top of his lungs. When Beetlejuice meets him, he's a little he's intimidated, and you can't blame him. And when Lydia meets Bully, Bully falls in love with her, and he wants to marry her. When Lydia refuses, well, how do I say it? Oh, I know. He points 2 loaded guns right at her face. Say what you want to say, but you may say that's lust, but I say that as pure anger issues. Because you point 2 loaded guns at someone just because they say no? You are a downright psychopath for doing that. This guy just can't take no for an answer. He's like a kid at a toy store who throws a huge fit when he doesn't get a toy. So when someone says no, he's like, "I will blow this town to smithereens until I get what I want." Well, some may say he's more of a lust category. I'm gonna say wrath overshines his lust. And speaking of lust, let's move on to our next sin.
While Bowie definitely showed signs of lust, this character outlusts him in every outlustable way you can think of. That sounded weird, but I'm just gonna ignore that. Dolores, the main antagonist of the second Beetlejuice movie, is Beetlejuice's crazy, soul-sucking ex-wife. And she's also the one thing I did not like about the second movie. And you know the reason. You can guess what the reason is. They built her up to be this unstoppable villain, and she just really didn't do anything. Yet despite her small screen time, she still embodies lust. Lust is the sexual desire for, well, my teenagers will know what I'm talking about. And Dolores suits this perfectly. She spends the entire movie stalking Beetlejuice, trying to find him. And the way she dresses and the way she moves is that of a succubus, which is a demonic creature that feeds off man's desires. And there's some theories going around saying that she's even more powerful than Beetlejuice. Had she been shown more screen time, then I may have thought she may have given him a run for his money. Heck, when Beetlejuice sees her, he's downright terrified of her. Oh, and after she puts herself back together, she writes his name on the wall. Yeah, that's crazy, but it's gonna get even crazier. I know. Though she spends most of the movie just looking for Beetlejuice, this one scene just really sealed the deal of me thinking of her as lust.
Ew! Dude! What the?
Wow, she has issues. And she had issues even when she met Beetlejuice. According to him, they met during the Black Plague, and after a crazy night of love that I cannot show because I'm afraid I might get shut down, she poisoned him. And unlike most slasher movies, where the person that poisons the victim gets away with it, the victim ends up killing the murderess. I like how it shows that even when he's about to die or when he's alive, Beetlejuice can still be a force to be reckoned with. But I'm getting off topic. If they make Beetlejuice 3 and they show Dolores returning, and she shows more than just lust, maybe I might change it. But until or if that happens, Dolores earns the medal of lust.
Originally, I was going to give Dolores both the Lust and Gluttony medal, but I decided to make this video a bit more challenging. I would give the Gluttony medal to somebody else. Or should I say something else? Gluttony is, to put it bluntly, the craving for everlasting hunger. No matter how much you eat, you want more and more and more, similar to greed. Like, you just stuff yourself with food or with anything. Like, even when you're not hungry, you just, like, have a big, big Thanksgiving snack. The sandworms embody this not because they're relentless in their pursuit of devouring ghosts, but because, well, they honestly can't eat. Well, they can eat, but they can't, like, digest. The sandworms aren't even really alive. I plan on making a video where I do a theory on what the sandworms really are. Sandworms live in a desert environment where there's no food or water for miles. Sandworms have been known to breed, hence the baby sandworm in the cartoon. And the baby sandworm has shown to be quite friendly, like a puppy. But the adults, however, are very, very, very aggressive. Almost every time you see a sandworm, they go out of their way to devour you. They don't care if you're a good guy, bad guy, ghost, living person. If they see you, they see food. And when they devour you, well, it differs. We've only seen really one ghost survive being devoured by a sandworm, and that's Beetlejuice. He got eaten by a sandworm at the end of the first movie, and he spawned in the waiting room. I'm not sure if this is the case with all ghosts, so it's debatable really, because Beetlejuice is not your average ghost. But for the sake of this video, we'll say yeah, that's what happens when a sandworm eats you. If you're a ghost, you just spawn right back in the afterlife. So they can't eat you, so they can't digest, so they're in a constant state of hunger. This example's a gluttony. You're never satisfied. You want more, 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 and more. Actually, that's the same thing as greed. But we'll get to greed in a second. The sandworms, at the end of the day, are kind of, well, you can't help but feel sorry for them. They eat, but they can't digest. It's like they're not even alive. It's like they too are ghosts. So that's why I gave them the gluttony medal. Not because of their savageness for food, but because they can never be satisfied. They're in a constant state of hunger, but they can never satisfy it. Tragic, really. It just goes to show you, if you give someone more and more and more, they'll eventually become empty buckets, just buckets that just shove food inside of them to make them feel satisfied. Next sin. Greed is the desire for wealth and power, but most commonly money, which is the same thing as wealth. And no one embodies this better than Rory from Beetlejuice 2, who, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I hate him so much. He's like Ofo, but 10 times more just dramatic, and every time I see him, I just want to punch his teeth out. I know it's a bit violent, but hey, this guy honestly is asking for it. The reason I hate him so much is because he's realistic. Pardon my language, he's a gold digger. He tries to marry Lydia to get more money, because he thinks he can make more money as her husband than as her manager. And I will admit, Lydia is just a little bit gullible. A little bit. I'm not saying she's stupid. But the one scene that really cemented Rory as the sin of greed is one scene and one scene alone. He proposed to Lydia on the day of her father's funeral. Now, Charles Dietz is one of my least favorite characters in the franchise. He's just a schmuck. But even though he's a schmuck, asking a man's daughter to marry you on the day of a man's funeral is that's just disrespectful to the dead. Like, she just lost her dad and you already say, hey, let's get married. Like, what kind of sicko does that? She needs time to grieve. Sheesh. That's what sealed the deal for greed. The fact that he was willing to ask someone to marry him on the day of that person's funeral just for money? Ugh. It's people like him that make me believe in hell. And I'm pleased to say that he gets his just desserts. This scene right here is how I feel. Look at that face Lydia's giving him when he's exposed. He's like, can you help me out here? But she's like, you did this to yourself. And before I move on to the next sin, I just have to say, can I see that clip of Lydia punching Rory one more time, please? Thank you. Our last sin is arguably one of the most deadliest of them all sins. Fitting it should go to the most powerful character not just in the cartoon series, but the entire Beetlejuice franchise. Yes, I am not kidding. I consider Braino the most powerful character in the entire Beetlejuice franchise. Why? Because he's Beetlejuice's brain. Everything Beetlejuice can do, the brain can do. Maybe even better. Why? Because it's the brain. And you think I'm over-exaggerating Braino, but you may say the same thing about me over-exaggerating Beetlejuice. It's because of this, Braino obviously has a huge ego. And pride, to put it in better words, pride is the self-confidence in yourself. You believe that no one can stop you. You are above everyone. You are basically God. Yeah, that's what pride is, so don't have too much pride, people. I mean, it's good to have pride now and then, but too much pride can make you become a jerk. And that's what Braino is, a supervillain type jerk. He manipulates Scuzzo to get what he wants, and then he backstabs the clown, and then goes on a rampage. I've covered this in my previous Beetlejuice-themed videos. What gives Braino the title of Pride, despite what I just said? It's his willingness to do anything to get what he wants. His goal was not just to get an award, but to conquer the afterlife, which he basically could have done without breaking much of a sweat. He's also an attention hogger, seeing as how he quickly gives up his plans for afterlife domination to be the center of attention. You may see this as him being envy, which I guess it is, but his pride is almost as big as his ego, which is the same thing, I guess. The point is, he thinks the world revolves around him. Everyone is expendable. Everyone is a tool, and he's the master. Furthermore, unlike Beetlejuice, Braino actually does not mind at all putting Lydia in danger. Quite the opposite. He basically holds her at hostage, which is insane considering how Beetlejuice would do anything but harm Lydia. And honestly, this may just be me, but when I look closely at Braino, he kind of looks like the Martians from War of the Worlds. No, not that one. Not that one. No, wait, yes, that one. That one. You can see the resemblance, can't you? They're both brain monsters. Just something I thought I'd point out. Well, guys, that's it. This video took a long time to make, so I hope you appreciate it. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from making these long-themed videos for a little bit, but the next big video that I have planned is going to be a theory on sandworms. So until then, take it easy, guys, and make sure to subscribe. Bye.